The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles. And broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Welcome to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign. Aisha Morrison, Bree Aldridge. Jess Navarre is here filling in for Nicole as she takes a very well-deserved day off. Ladies, you know what I love? I love walking in here and seeing the guys on the field.
Yes, it does make me a little happy.
It doesn't feel so empty around here. So, guys officially still back at it, the boys, and we're just going to kick things off because last week we didn't get to hear from George Pickens until after our episode
Right
aired.
after.
Literally right after. So I wanted to jump right into that because it was a very interesting interview. Bree, you were there. What was the vibe that you got from George Pickens? Because, again, still a very hot commodity.
I feel like, you guys, I'm going to be a George Pickens advocate. Like,
say it.
He was so, and his demeanor, I guess the passionate player, right? That's what we were talking about, how this huge personality, but like when he's answering questions, like he's so mellow and like he kind of reminds me of CeeDee Lamb because CeeDee Lamb has that energy on the field, but when you talk to him, you know, in the locker room or at the podium, whatever, he's very like in control, calm. He catches your attention, and Pickens is very much the same. And he's given all the right answers. It's everything you want to hear from a guy who's coming into a new environment, who is willing to be learning under guys like CeeDee Lamb. And CeeDee Lamb's answers to a lot of the questions also I was impressed by because somebody had asked straight up, like, do you feel like you can learn from Pickens, even though obviously you're the top dog here and you have the upper hand, we're talking about experience and what have you. He was like, oh, without a doubt. He's like, already I'm learning from, you know, him and what he can bring. And then Tolbert's answer was also, I asked him specifically in the locker room, Dak said, I asked Tolbert what Dak said about how he feels like the wide receiver room is unselfish. And I think that's the narrative that I want the national people to pick up on this year, because that is the vibe that I'm getting from everybody who's talking in that room. And Tolbert was saying, you know, you have to be unselfish in this room, and we are. He joked about Pickens. I believe he said he played against Pickens in high school, which I did not know that.
That's cool.
A little tidbit. He actually said he lost to Pickens' team in a state championship. Yeah, so that's how he remembers Pickens. But there's a lot of respect there. A lot of respect. He says, you know, this is an unselfish group. What that means is, I'm opening lanes, I'm blocking, I'm giving the next guy next to me the extra yards. It's going to make them better. It's going to make me better. And that it's all positive vibes. Like, it really is. Like, I know we get a little cliche at this time of the year because we haven't seen anything. Yeah. And I know, what is it, days? What is this, 4?
Yeah,
4? I don't know, because media was only here that one day.
4.
So for me, I only got one, day on the field. But no, guys, I'm excited. I like it. He's calm, cool, and collected and ready to go, ready to prove himself. That's what you want.
Yeah, I mean, the scout that I spoke to said a similar thing about him is that, the passion really just comes out on the field and sometimes, after games and stuff like that. But we talk about this all the time, and I think it is important to remember that these are, what Pickens, 24? How old is he?
What is it? He's a baby.
Yeah, I think he's 24.
A nugget.
Right?
I mean, listen.
He can buy a drink.
24-year-old Aisha was a mess. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, everyone deserves growth. Everyone deserves time. But I also think that this echoing of the selflessness is something that when you look across the league and you see, oh God, I hate to say it. I'm tired of having to say it.
I want to hear.
But when you see a team like Philly, or you see like these teams. Again, the successful teams have that selflessness to how they operate, and that's why they're hard to game plan for. Because at any point in time, you could be planning for Saquon, and then you got Devontae Smith carving you up. You got A.J. Brown carving you up. You have Dallas Goedert carving you up. So it's like, that is to me how football should be, is that you can touch every blade of grass with different guys, and it makes you harder to game plan against. Now, don't get it twisted. There's going to be times where you need Pickens and CD and Jake Ferguson to step up in these games and be the big dogs that they are. But the fact that this is kind of the thing, and I think Shotty has said something similar to this last year. He said he wants an offense that can touch every blade of grass. He said that verbatim last year. And if that's what they have to do, if that's what they want to do, they're going to have to understand, hey, man, some days I'm going to have it, some days you going to have it, and that's just how it's going to work. And I appreciate them having that mindset moving forward. I think it's going to make them a better football team.
And to your point, Aisha, they haven't had a room full of guys that have the name, that have the dog behind it. Because let's face it, there's still so many unknowns within this Cowboys offense now. But when you get a guy like George Pickens, it's like, oh, shoot, you're ready to take a step back, because now it's not just CeeDee Lamb you have to game plan for. Now they can get creative. Now they can have those special packages with Turp included. Like, they can do everything they said they wanted to do last year because they have that extra guy. But I really liked when, to your point about JT, talking about him, you're right. There is an unselfishness, but there's also the word energy going around. Everybody in their interview said energy. It was George Pickens said energy. When asked about the culture with Shotty, Dak, and CD, and JT, everyone used the word energy. And so, ladies, I'm going to pose this question to you. Going with the Shotty culture and the energy, why do you feel like it was necessary to press the reset button? Say everything still happened. You got the same kind of draft picks. You got the same guys. Say you didn't have a coaching change. Why do you think Shotty's energy is going to be impactful? Because, again, we hear it every year. Drink the Kool-Aid. Everything is great. And then the results don't show that. So why?
Yeah.
Why? Sell me on it.
I think Dak was asked a very similar worded question. Like, I think it was Clarence, actually.
It was.
Of course,
I think it was Clarence. He's like,
Clarence.
hey, I don't mean to be that guy. And Dak was
But
like,
it's a valid
yes, you
question.
It is a
it's
valid
so
question.
When you hear
valid.
the same thing for years and years and years, yes, I agree. And Dak's answer, just kind of to piggyback on what the question was, he was like, I realized that I kind of say this year after year, but he was just like, it is cliche, but he's like, I feel like in years past it was, okay, I'm focused on connecting with my wide receivers. You know, the running backs are with them. The O-line, you know, it was offense and then it was defense and it was separate. He says this year, we're kind of being intentional about involving all phases. There's no group or position that is more important than the other when it comes to me connecting with them and being intentional. And I think last week we talked about Schottenheimer talking about the activities that we're doing, from basketball. Apparently the guys aren't very good. The ping pong table that we all had to get video of, you know, that they're having fun.
Like that too.
They said it.
Shotty called it.
He did.
Shotty called him out.
He was calling him by name, too. I was like, hey, Shotty.
I guess athletic everywhere is not it. But that's fine.
They have time to practice.
That's not what I need them to be good at.
Yeah,
So
right. Wrong sport.
But no, I think that like I said, I feel it's the cliche talk. It's early, right? These boys don't even got pads on or nothing. But it feels like Shotty is starting the right way. Like, at least if they go in and God forbid it doesn't go the right way, I feel like he did everything to start correctly. And sometimes you got to hit reset and just have fun and remember why are you doing the day you're doing. Like, even in our business, I'm sure y'all be at home like, whoo, what?
Yeah, I need a couple days.
Yeah, like you need the reset. You got to have fun. And the boys are having fun. And I was in that locker room, y'all, when they was going another game, losing by double digit, can't get a touchdown, like it's a field goal game. Like, they were not having fun in there. I wasn't having fun going to. I'm like, man, they about to look at me.
The only unit having fun was that special teams unit, that kicking unit specifically, because Brandon Aubrey was keeping you in games.
Literally the MVP, and that's not good. So I honestly, I heard this, and somebody asked this. I'm kind of like pivoting and going off track.
Okay, honey.
We talked about Amari Cooper for, a potentially bringing him market. Whatever his value is goes down, possibility of him wanting to be here. Like, someone asked me, like, is that in the back burner? Like, I was like, you know what? I'm getting greedy, y'all. Because
Say it.
I know this team has other needs, but I feel like I'm looking at Dak as this dude in his prime, and I'm looking at what he was doing last year mobility-wise, and I'm looking at what we're going against. Commanders, they got a young, fresh legs over there. We know Jalen can run the ball, what have you. And those right now in our division, that is who, in our realm, that's who you're looking at. And I want Dak to be prepared with so many freaking weapons that he cannot lose. Just put him in his comfort zone. I don't want to force or see him trying to. We know it's gonna take some time already with the injury, but how do y'all feel about that? Like, are we over the Amari train? Are we over?
I was never over the Amari train. I was sitting there waiting for it to start again. Honestly, I was waiting for that train to go to the star. But to answer your question, no. I'm not on it. Realistically, do I see it happening? No.
Yeah.
But am I still on it? Oh.
Am I still gonna be hopeful? Yeah.
So you rather have another wide receiver than
that's what I'm
another
saying.
defensive tackle?
That's what I know.
How about a quarterback
or a running back?
Cornerback.
Oh, they said cornerback.
Yes, a cornerback.
Corner. Not a quarter.
Hey,
cornerback.
That D-line's going to make things easier for your corners.
I mean,
but yeah, I agree.
Why can't we have it all?
There's...
I'm just saying, if somebody gets cheap enough, we know we like to save coins in this
Let the math just
franchise. But I'm just saying,
I think
just call him, we'll see what he's doing on Friday and how's his day going.
Hey, you up? Sunday, you up?
Hey, stranger.
Y'all need help. Y'all, hey, big head. Hey, y'all crazy.
Ew.
No, wait. But to answer your question, Jess, I could be. I'm listen. I ain't right fire. But would it be out of the ordinary to say that I looked into those lights, I almost died?
I'm done.
Would it be out of the ordinary to say that maybe they wanted Shotty more involved last year anyway?
I can see that.
I mean, his energy, I mean, even with the pressers and how detailed he was, how much he talks about knowing the players. This is stuff he was talking about last year.
Yeah.
Like, could it have been that this energy was something that they felt from him and wanted more of anyway?
To your point, Dak mentioned how he didn't realize that the culture, and this is my words, not his, I'm just spouting it, but how the culture didn't span to the other rooms. He was like, I was fine on the offensive side, which would make sense to what you're saying, that Shotty was doing shoddy things already, but not to the full extent.
Yeah, so, I mean, talking about the reset button and the changes, where you mentioned, we can only go off of what we see right now and the information we have. And the information we have is that they were intentional in building this coaching staff. They were intentional in how they drafted. They were intentional. He came in here and was like, hey, babe, listen, that wide receiver 2 ain't going to cut it. And they got to it. So all we have right now is seeing that him putting things into action, and they're happening.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to go with. Furthermore, don't discount yourselves, ladies. Don't discount these folks that are in this room. Like, we read body language. We can feel energy. We can feel that stuff, and you feel the difference. And I think there's something to be said about that. It's not as sluggish. It don't feel fake. That's what I'm gonna say. It don't feel fake. And I think that we, like I said, give yourself some credit as reporters, ladies. Like, you know some of these guys. And if they're telling you this feels different, I feel like I'm more involved in all those things, I'm gonna believe them at this point, because we do hear the political talk. We do hear that. This don't feel like political talk. It feels legitimately genuine in the fact that they really believe in what he has going on. And I wanted to mention, to your point, Jess, about energy. I thought you made a great point about that. John Machota, from the New York Times, he posted a little clip of his article, and he said that Kyer Elam, who you're familiar with, cornerback from the Bills. Woo!
Dang, we're really talking about basketball.
From the
multi-talented.
They ain't doing nothing. So he said, I feel like the energy here is something I've never been a part of. I just love the enthusiasm and energy from the coaching staff. They actually make you feel like they care. And I'm just going to go on record as saying, I'll wait. When's the last time we heard a player talk about the energy here? Yes, they've talked about, ooh, the building. Ooh, I've never seen a facility like this. Ooh, this is so this is new and fresh. But never talked about, to me, the coaching staff in this way, besides Dan Quinn, and also the energy. We only heard that on the defensive side of the ball, really. when we had defensive players. So I think that's something to be said about what they're trying to do now, is that I haven't heard a player say anything among like in that realm for a while.
And you know what I really like too about this energy is it starts these rookies off on a very high note that maybe not all of these players got their rookie season, and it sets the standard and the tone for what this team is going to be in the long term of it. And what I really like about it is this gives them one less thing to worry about. They're already moving here, new city, new people. George Pickens talked a lot about that. He was ready for a refresh, right? Yeah. But it's a lot that goes into it for these guys. And what I really like is that they're embracing not just, being a Cowboy, everything that entails, but they're embracing the actual city itself. Can y'all hear me?
Barely.
It went out a little bit, but I can hear you because I'm right.
Okay, hold on.
You touched your mic.
Oh, can y'all hear me now? Hello?
Yeah,
oh,
there
okay.
she is.
Oh, wow,
Like
there she is. Hey, guys.
Commercial.
Hey, can you hear me now? Good.
Good.
So what I was saying is they've really embraced the culture of Dallas, and that shows me going to Stars games, going to the playoff games. Tyler Booker, probably the biggest Stars fan.
That was cool.
Recently,
I saw him there
really fun, and even just the team bonding that they're taking outside of it. I know the offensive line guys went to a Stars game together, and yes, obviously I'm a little biased towards the Stars. We know this, but it is cool to see the guys going and embracing just their city around them too, and not having to worry about how they feel when they come to work, because they're already doing that now. So anyways, to that point, ladies, let's take our first break. When we come back, I want to talk about the defensive side of the ball with you guys. We're going to talk about expectations for Micah, what they are, and how we could see them play out. Stay with us. This is Girls Talk Boys Talk. We'll be right back.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take your steak, cornbread, cobbers, pot pie, and potatoes, and next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Do it for confidence on and off the field. Do it for you. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Don't wait. Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
The CONCACAF Gold Cup is back at AT&T Stadium with 2 doubleheaders. Watch Costa Rica take on the Dominican Republic and Suriname face Mexico on June 18th. Then, on June 22nd, the United States meets Haiti and the Dominican Republic takes on Suriname. Don't miss your chance to see the best soccer in teams in North America. Get your tickets for both days now at SeatGeek.com.
Yeehaw. Chris, can we hit the yeehaw?
Oh, so we have an option.
There we go. That's my favorite. All right. Welcome back to Girls Talk, Boys Talk, brought to you by Invisalign. Aisha Morrison, Brie Aldridge, Jess Navarre is here, getting you guys more Cowboys talk here on this lovely Tuesday afternoon or whenever you're listening to this. Ladies, let's switch gears. Let's talk defense, because I think if anybody or any group needed a little bit of a reset culture-wise, I think it was the defensive side of the ball. And we're starting to see that come to light a little bit more. That's no knock to anybody. Sometimes things just are what they are. And, you know, I'm excited to see what happens for this team to come together in that way. How are they going to come together, ladies? Well, Micah Parsons is going to be your Lion leader. Happy belated birthday to Micah, by the way. It was yesterday. What do you guys need from Micah, or what pieces, I should say, is needed for him to not only be that successful on the field leader, but off the field leader that they want him to be? What missing pieces are there still missing for him to? I said missing too soon. But what needs to be done for Micah to be successful?
You gonna start us off?
Take a deep breath.
No, I guess I can. I believe that a lot of Micah's success is going to be obviously on Eberflus and what he decides to do with him. We know that Matt Eberflus is known for, wanting to rush 4 and stay true and all that stuff, but he does have a tendency to bring 5-man blitzes and things like that. I wonder if we see, depending on what this linebacker room looks like, and I know we're going to get to that later, but the linebacker room, I believe, is important, because I wonder if Micah is going to be doing, if we're going to get back to seeing him move around and be like that chess piece. We did see some of that last year. Not going to take that away from Zimmer. I thought that he was able to do some of those things. I hope that's something they continue. Will we see him play more linebacker? I don't know. He looked a little light in the butt right now. We'll see. But I think this linebacker room and how it shapes out is going to play a role in what we see Micah Parsons do and what his role is going to be moving forward. I think he is going to take a step, because what is this? His fourth year?
Micah, fourth?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I feel like he just got
Crazy.
drafted. So he's going into his fourth year. He should be taking a step into what we can expect from him moving forward. He got his grown man body. He understands the game. He understands how things work. I think Eberflus is going to enjoy him in this system. So anyway, I think it depends on what they want of him, because I know Eberflus typically likes bigger edges and guys that can really stop the run as well, similar to Zimmer. So maybe we don't see him always rushing from the edge again, like we see him rushing up the middle and stuff like last year and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of what I see from him schematic wise. But other than that, I think as a leader and as a person, I think he's already taken steps to be more involved. And even how he's handling the contract situation and showing up and being around, I think that says a lot about him as a player as well. So there we go.
That's literally the end. How you ended it is literally what was going through my mind, because I feel like Shotty, we talked about this a little bit when he's like, has Micah been around? Because Micah's made it known, I do certain things, and it's not like I'm not sitting at home chilling. I'm working out, but I'm doing things my way, and I like that already. He's not doing things his way. On the contrary, I'm not looking for Micah to do anything spectacular. I'm looking for Micah to come in and be Micah. I'm looking for Micah to come in here first week and tell us that he is like he did last year. I believe I am the best at this position in this league, and that's how I play. That's how I face week by week. Obviously, the man needs to get paid. We know that. We talk about that every week. So that'll be a very interesting storyline as training camp comes around.
Please.
He wasn't here when media was availability. What was that? Oh, it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wasn't here that day, but it sounds like he's been around. Doing stuff.
He's not absent.
But
yeah,
to be
he's
fair
not.
too,
yes.
Michael will say what he wants to say, without needing a media scrum. He's gonna get his point out
Further, yeah.
if he
very
wants
much
to get
so.
his point out.
So yeah, I'm not schematically, he's his third different defensive coordinator.
It don't matter. He gonna get his.
A lot.
That's what I'm saying.
He gonna get his.
Exactly. It's going to be interesting to see if they're going to get a little bit spicy, moving him around, like he said. What did he say? He was like the not the wild card. He had made a reference
Joker?
last camp. Is that what he said he was?
The Joker?
I don't even remember. No, it was
Is he the
something
Rainbow
else.
Uno card?
Why the Rainbow Uno card?
Because you could throw that one out and it change up everything.
Man, Uno got so many. I like the old basic.
Okay.
1998 regular Uno card.
Look.
That makes sense. But
Uno gets competitive.
It gets
and
serious.
that's what I hope we see out of this defense.
Come on, transition.
Bring out the competition. But
Come on.
I wanted to point out, too, what I need for Micah, what I want to see is, and I have no doubt, because you have Eberflus, who's, matured. We'll say, I don't want to say old, right? Like, we're not saying that. But he's matured. He knows how to help these players mature. I want to continue to see this growth from Micah on the path of becoming a more mature player and a more mature person. And ultimately, that happens when you're in the NFL. You come in as a youngin', like you get to grow and learn and mature. So I think them being able to help Micah do that and become the leader that he wants to be is just a vital part for me. But let's go into our favorite conversation, guys.
Please
the
no.
cornerback room. Yeah, we're still worried about it. We know that. That's not going to change. But I wanted to throw out there, because John Machota, you mentioned him earlier. Great work. He had pointed out on Twitter, or I believe it was on his podcast, how it will be too late to pick up a cornerback, a good solid cornerback, if you wait until training camp. And I agree. I agree with that. So, ladies, if you
Breathe space.
Here's the thing. Obviously, we know if you were in charge, you would go pick up a cornerback. That would have already been done, right? Say they don't. Let's talk about the what ifs in this situation, because this is worrisome, and this has to be something we discuss because of the reality of it. Deron Bland, I see him having a good camp. All is well. It seems like with his healing journey, he seems to have his little spunk back, so that's good. Josh Butler, still injured. Kalen Carson, coming back from that shoulder injury. Trayvon Diggs, still injured as well. And I think with Trey, I'm the most worried for obvious reasons. It's Trayvon Diggs. But how long do you have to wait to see Trayvon Diggs come back? Furthermore, to be Trayvon Diggs that you need him to be. Ladies, what do you do with this cornerback situation as it stands? If you can't add any pieces, obviously. We're not in charge over here. But what do you do with what you have?
You pray. You pray.
And fast.
And this is
fast.
You have Aisha's grandma go light a candle at church.
Gotta go to church. The reality is people get hurt. That's what it is. This group is very much hurt. Come back from all the injuries you just said. We've seen them struggling. Kalen Carson was playing with one shoulder last year, right? The problem or the concern that I have is, so what I saw briefly when I stepped out there, who was taking the reps with the ones, was Deron Bland, Kyer Elam. Now, Kyer has, I think, a lot of potential, but he never peaked in Buffalo, right? And I said last week he had 3 different people calling the plays defensively.
Yeah.
Like, that's tough coming for any young player who's trying to get gripped. They had a bunch of injuries with their top 2, and Kyer had to step in this is a team that goes deep in the postseason, right? And it was tough to watch. I'm not gonna lie. He was getting cuts just a little bit. But it wasn't like he'd be there on one play and he'd make a good play, and then the next play he would get beat out. So it wasn't like he was getting cooked every single play, but it was very much inconsistent.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that's something transfers here. So right now, I feel like what they're looking at, if we had a game today, you're looking at Deron Bland, you're looking at Kyer. Like that's the reality, right? Hopeful for one. We know what the other can do. And like you said, obviously I would be putting more, if my house had to go, I would put my house on Deron Bland right now, right?
Yeah.
Would Deron get hurt? Was Deron Bland get hurt? That's where I'm concerned.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Please.
Well, I could tell you the depth, but that wouldn't make you feel any better. So I'm just gonna.
That's the issue.
I mean,
we need bodies.
When you talk about,
you need bodies, but you need helpful plug and play bodies.
Yeah,
that's
talk
the
about
whole
being
problem.
greedy.
You have the bodies, you just don't have
you
the
were
plug
talking
and
about
play
being
bodies.
greedy. That's where I want you to be greedy at. There's 2 positions that I think there's 2 guys in those positions that can make or break those positions, and I think with the cornerback room is Kyer Elam. If he comes in and he plays well, it gives time for Ravel to be ready to play. And then also, too, I think Javonte Williams out of the running back room is really important to whatever the running back room is going to become. And those two gentlemen are who I'm looking at moving forward to see, like, okay, and I think the Cowboys are doing the same. Like, do we need to add someone or whatever the case may be? Now, Bree, you mentioned being greedy earlier, and this is the position I would be greedy at. How many times have we gotten to, maybe the last 3 years, maybe 2 years, like, that you got too close to the postseason and you had to go pull cornerbacks off of practice squads.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
overcorrect this. Overcorrect this. If you have the ability to do it, I would overcorrect it. And this is not to say that Kyer Elam can't gain that confidence and play well here. It's not to say that Ravel is not going to come on later in the season and be a player, or whatever the case may be. It's not to say that Kalen Carson, baby, who's your nickel corner? You don't even know. They rotating dudes out like it's popped the balloon.
If I got to look at the sheet, I'm like, who is this?
Like, I'm just saying, they're rotating gentlemen out of that that nickel cornerback position specifically because they're trying to figure out who can handle the responsibility of it. That nickel corner spot requires a lot of responsibility and communication. And so this is a weird spot to be in, y'all, and I'm definitely worried. And I think your feelings are valid as well. It was just like, I don't know what this is going to look like. And we have no idea what it's going to look like now. This front four. Yeah. Front seven, they're going to have to come on with it to help these guys out if this is what you're going to run with. What you got?
I was just about to say, like, the only solution you have is you put it on the D-line. And that's not fair, right? It's not fair for them to have to feel the pressure for what they're lacking. I'm worried. I mean, if any position group I'm the most worried about, and I think we're pretty much all in agreement, it's cornerback. And
if they get loose in that,
it sucks because if they were healthy, you'd be like, if these guys were healthy, you'd be like, oh, we about to.
But that's the problem is that. Yeah, if this is a great set of cornerbacks, if they're all healthy at the same time, the problem is you're on different schedules here too. Mm-hmm. You have Deron Bland who, just barely started feeling like himself again, and you saw that the last couple games that he played. But then you're going to have Trayvon Diggs come back. That's great, but we all know how long it takes for somebody to feel themselves again physically and mentally post-injury. So I keep that in mind. Kalen Carson, I'm just not sure what we have in Kalen Carson, only because you saw you saw a depleted version of Kalen Carson because of that shoulder injury just bugging and not being able to do what he needed to. Guys, I'm I'm worried about it. So we'll see what comes about it.
Is it like the only, I will say that I think it's the only position I'm this worried about.
It's the top position that I think most should be worried about.
I think it's on most people's list when you're looking at depth, health.
Yeah.
Yes.
All of it.
I agree.
It's jinkies. Like, it's that flash is on. You understand me? Like, I don't know. I would like for them to go out and handle it sooner than later.
I have a question, too, because we're basing what we saw off of last year's performance from Kalen Carson. What do you ladies need to see from him this year and even in training camp? We'll go as far as training camp. What do you need to see from him in order to feel a little bit more confident in what he can bring to this room?
I just want to see him jam on the line. I want to see him put his hands on people, how he extends, if he has any power behind it. And I also I'm really looking at his body language, his temperament. Like Kalen Carson, you look at his college tape, I still have my scouting report on him. Mm-hmm. This was a feisty, I'm in your face all game type of player, not afraid to come up and tackle, very good in the press. And so we didn't see that confidence last year. We didn't see that, ferocity that he can play with. And he wasn't a sure tackler as he normally is. Is that shoulder going to be something that he is timid about? Is he going to come back and be that guy? Because Eberflus is going to ask these guys to come up and tackle. It's a requirement. He's not going to let you slide. So if you can't do that, then, I don't know if you're going to see the field. And with Kalen, especially if he is in the nickel, which I don't know what's going to happen, but if they do play him in the nickel, he got to get through trash. He got to deal with all these freaking picks. He got to be able to communicate. So it's a lot to ask of him, but we'll see. Like, I guess we'll have an idea of if he's ready for it or not sooner than later. But yeah, I need to see quite a bit from him. Not that he's not capable.
Yeah, I want the same. Like if we're just talking about Oxnard, like, it's right around the corner. it's going to be the tempo because he is if you ever just talk to him,
he's super chill.
So chill.
So I'm like, what do you say? Like he talks very quiet and
Yeah.
What did you say?
At first, the first time I talked to him, I was like, "What?"
No, I
He's
swear
quiet.
I had
He's
to
a quiet
like.
dude.
I had to
But
lean
as a
in.
player in college, I was very quiet because of myself.
Yeah.
But when I got on that court, I was turned up. That's just and that's what I want to see from him. We're talking about just without schematically what he can do, but I want to see him with the ones and what he's doing with the ones. Like we got 2 big targets.
Yep.
That can get in the open field and do some damage. I want to see what he does
against. Oh yeah, and that's right though. Like Shawty's been talking about competition, and that's
Edie
a
wasn't at
great
camp.
point.
Yep.
Last year.
That's a great point. And so we did kind of get a little.
Now we got 2.
Yeah.
So
That's a good
Kalen Carson was going against the Jalen's. No shade to them at all. Like Tolbert was the guy. He was getting, because CD was contract stuff. So he never really from jump when now I'm not saying there's no pressure at camp, but I feel like that's the time where you get to
Stand out.
stand out, make the mistakes if you were, and learn the reps. I feel like he never got that in that era where you're supposed to, shine out. You're shining out against 2, 3, 4 and down the depth chart.
But last year he was a rookie, so it's like, okay, give him that grace. But this year 2 jump, there's a reason that continues to be such a vital football term is because you've been here, you've done that, you're around it. Yes, new coaching staff, we understand that. But you know how this works now. You understand the schedule. You understand going to Oxnard. Like, you don't have the other little worries of being a rookie anymore. All you have to do is do your homework, do your studying, and go play. And to me, Kalen has always been one of those guys. One of the conversations I had with him in locker room a while back was how he knew at a little young age he wanted to play football. Like this was always his calling, and he knew it. And for me, when a guy like that is like, I want to do this, I need to do this, his whole life revolved around this. You have your shot now. This is your time. It wasn't necessarily last year because you had that rookie grace, but now I feel like whatever happens year 2 for him can define how often he's used, if he's your 2, if he's your 3, because guess whose contract comes up next year? Duron Bland. So you have to start defining yourself to make a position for yourself if things don't work out in the way that Cowboys fans would like it to. Now's the time you start doing that and you make early impressions. So with that being said, ladies, there's a couple other defensive positions I want to get into after the break. Stick with us. We're talking safeties when we come back to Girls Talk, Boys Talk. We'll see you on the other side of this break.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Do it for confidence on and off the field. Do it for you. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Don't wait. Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. And George Pickens, this day's hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the crews. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like mama's recipes. Take your steak, cornbread, cobbers, pot pie, and potatoes next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
This weekend is bringing the After Hours Till Dawn Stadium to AT&T Stadium on August 27th and 28th. Catch this all-new show in support of the full album trilogy with Playboy Cardi and special guest Mike Dean. Get your tickets today at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing partner of AT&T Stadium.
Yeah, go do that. Okay, welcome back to Girls Talk, Boys Talk. Our last segment today, Aisha Morrison, Brie Aldridge, Jess Navarre here. Ladies, safety first, always. And
transitions are.
Thanks, girl. And in this case, we're talking safeties first. We were just kind of talking off break. Let's get back into that conversation. The safety room, general thoughts, overall disappointing last year. Nothing great, right? But the issue becomes when they're becoming a problem, not so much helping with the solution. Thoughts on your safety room right now, ladies?
It's a safety room.
Dang.
Oh, no, I wasn't trying to be shady. I was just
Where's
saying
my umbrella?
No, I'm just saying that they're healthy, they're present. I don't believe that they should be a reason why you lose games this year. I would pray. I mean, you have an pretty experienced group at this point. You got Marquise Bell coming back from, what was it? Was it an elbow? Baby.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it. He's his little elbow. Marquise Bell coming back from his injury. Obviously, Wanye Thomas, we've been wanting to see more of him for a while. We actually saw him get some reps in the nickel in practice. So even on that, because that was interesting to me. I didn't expect it. And then obviously now Zion Childress is someone we talked about last week, but Elijah Clark out of Syracuse, the rookie safety, he was one of the highest, if not, I think he was the highest undrafted free agent on this roster. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that is not afraid to come up and tackle. He's very rangy. He's big and physical. I think he's going to do things on special teams, but he's a gentleman as well that I think adds healthy depth to this safety room as well. So it's a safety room. We know what to expect from Donovan and Lee Cooker at this point. And that's it.
Okay, well, to get them out of it's just a safety room, what do they need to do to raise that bar?
Barnacles. I mean, well, I guess play that role because they're going to be running a whole bunch of cover 3.
Yeah. And I to your point, though, I feel like I think of it kind of like the O-line. If we're not talking about the O-line, in my opinion, they're doing okay. Something's going on. But if we keep talking about the O-line every week, and I just feel like that wasn't a conversation last year. So, when you were like, the safety room, I kind of
I'm not trying to be shady, but
I just, we just talked, we had a whole segment about the corners. And, I know we're going to get to linebackers, but I feel like there's other stuff that's more
pressing.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be more of a sit back, but I think I feel a little comfort is because you're looking at guys like, what is Donovan Wilson, is that 7 years, Malik Hooker 5,
I will cry.
I'm not
Malik Hooker's 9 years.
Oh.
It's a lot of experience in between just those two. 3.
Dono's 7.
And everybody
Wanye 3. Is
signed their inked up.
Yeah,
There's
and we
3,
know. Yeah, and they re-signed Wanye. They re-signed.
So they like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sure depth. It's
Yeah.
sure depth. You get a mix of, obviously, Marquise Bell can help you in the run. You know that Wanye Thomas is a guy that can help you in coverage. And again, like we talked about, do some nickel things, whatever the case may be. You got the 2 rookies coming in depth-wise from Zion Childress and Elijah. I just think that room is kind of set, and I'm assuming they have a vision. We had Overstreet, David Overstreet is the new DB coach from Chicago, and he did a great job with Jalen Johnson when he was out there. So I think that we should be encouraged by what the room is right now, and most safe room in the room.
That's good.
Hooker,
That's good.
81
Safe in the
tackles,
safety room.
2 interceptions.
It's a safe.
It's the
C
same
room.
Complaints.
One more piece of the puzzle here. Your linebackers. We've talked about this group a lot as well. Ladies, what concerns you the most? What are you the most positive about? Just general thoughts on linebackers right now and where the room stands. Lots up for grabs. Green dot? Question mark. Communicator? Question mark. Leader of the room? Question mark. Until
Who's the leader of the room
until Demo.
Who is the leader in the room right now?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Question mark.
Like
Demo, we know. He's out.
He's so ready to come back.
Yeah, we know that. We know that. You've seen that. We're not. Demo's excluded from this conversation because we don't worry about him.
I think that Jack Sanborn out of Chicago, right? Yeah. I think out of Chicago. I believe that his signing is going to be very underrated. I think it's kind of gone underrated. Again, he'll set the tone for the run game. Pairing him with Maris Leofau in DeMarvion Overshown's absence, I think is very healthy. I thought it was very forward-thinking of them to do this. I don't know what to expect from Kenneth Murray Jr. at this point. I need to get my eyes on him a little bit more. And then with Damone Clark and Shamar James, both of these guys are kind of fighting for a spot, specifically, I think, at the will linebacker position. So there's some competition in this room. The depth is there. We're still not sure about it, I guess you want to say. Yeah. But if your starters, I will say, if my starters are Maris Leofau, who I always thought was going to be your Mike anyway, and then Sanborn, he is considered a Mike, but I would assume they would have him doing some will stuff or maybe flip the two. Yep. If those are your two starters, which it kind of feels like they might be, I'm not going to die. And then Kenneth Murray, you know, however they decide to use him. So, yeah, it's a cheer is still a cheer. I mean, I don't know. It's a linebacker room. Do you feel better about it this year than you did last year, ladies?
At this point,
because I don't know what
in
to
the season,
say about them because I don't know.
At this point, I would say no, and that is just because it was very clear that Kendricks was Zimmer's guy, and Kendricks knew this new defense that was being implemented, and he was going to take the reins, which he did. He was the voice, and obviously he's gone. Yeah. I feel like, is he still a free agent?
Who?
Kendricks?
Yeah, I've been seeing him on social media, I think.
Yeah, you haven't seen his social media posting about his cars.
What's he doing on Friday, too? Call him, too. Just see what he's
posting on social media.
Maybe.
See if his value goes down.
I think they're going to give Maris that shot.
I actually have, so personally, I have a lot of faith of what Maris Leofau can do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's okay. It's a lot of, it's like it's the hopeful.
Yeah. Wishful thinking.
Yes. So it's like, cool. If it don't work out, then what? That's the issue. But I'm going into this season, and I think this is why linebacker necessity when we're corners is above it, because I feel like I have the most faith in him when we're looking at that player that's going into year two. Because I feel like when he was asked to step up, he did.
I agree.
Like, I don't feel like he went out there with liability. There was times he went out there and then I feel like he
was unsure in some spots.
Yeah. And I feel like year two, the coaches who are proven that they can develop. But if you think about it schematically, it is supposed to be I don't want to say easier system, but it's supposed to be simplified than what they were trying to do early on in the season last year. So I think all those things come into play. But I feel like the peak or the ceiling for this player is going to be significant for this team. I hope it's this season.
Yeah,
I do feel like he's not plateau. Like, he's going to keep doing this. I just don't know if it's going to be at this level and speed that you need when you don't have an Overshown in there, when you're used to having that guy in there who I still don't like. The tape, bro, I'm like, he's going to get through, and then he doesn't. Like, Overshown is like plays with his head on fire. We saw it. It was exciting. But I think, I feel like Maris Leofau has a lot of that in him as well.
He does.
Yep.
I don't know about Kenneth Murray, like reading about him and listening to people who've covered him. I just feels like he struggled from where he came from in recent years. So if he can if they can unravel the best out of him, like, that would be great. I do agree with Aisha about Sanborn. He in my mind, he is the Eberflus glue.
Yeah.
kind of how we saw with Zimmer.
Kind of with Kendricks.
beautiful.
I think it's exactly what that is. So, and he seems like he seems for real with the spirit of other passionate players. So I'm excited to see what he does as well. But again, it's a little bit of the unknowns, right?
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like the world is ending, we are in the state of our cornerback room right now. 1 being I'm just a chill girl. How do you feel about the linebacker room right now?
I would say I'm a 6.
Dang.
Okay.
I'm a 6.
I was gonna say I was a 6 too. Like
Yeah.
I can't say 5 because I don't want to discredit them that much and whatever. But I'm a 6 because I don't know. But I know that Chris has told us that Eberflus is known for his ability to coach linebacker and that he's like a whisperer of some sort. That's his thing. So maybe we'll see some development from a guy like Damone Clark or some of these gentlemen who have not been, and even with Marist, right? Like maybe he knows how to speak to them, how to teach them in a way that they get this information. And we see somebody's going to take a jump. We just don't know who yet.
And you said it, like, Eberflus is he's like, you got to tackle. How many missed tackles is?
Don't get us started
Last
again,
season,
girl.
I was like, what is going on? But I remember Micah saying specifically after one game, and it wasn't that this dude can't tackle or, it's not the athleticism, right? He's saying, he was like, the problem is the dude on my right doesn't trust his guy, and the dude on my left doesn't trust his guy. So when you don't have the trust that person is going to cover his gap and he's going to be where he's going to be, that leaves holes and our defense looks a mess. And like, it made like so much sense because I feel like sometimes you're like watching film, you're like, how's this? They didn't have the trust in each other that person was going to do their job. Yeah. So that person was overemphasizing trying to cover more, and it went to hell.
Well, we are going to go. We're not going there, but we are going to go. It is time. It is time to wrap things up for the day, ladies. Honor and a pleasure as always to talk football with y'all. Aisha Morrison, Bree Aldridge, Justin Navarez for Girls Talk, Boys Talk. We will see you same time, same place next week. Make good choices, drink your water, and anything else, ladies?
Oh, yes. Congrats to my best friend and her husband, Eric. They are the Magahas. My girl is a Mrs. now. So, yes, maid of honor in the building. I just want to shout her out really quickly. Love you guys.
We love true love.
We love. And we love you guys. See you next week.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!